Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer, and today I have with me Shekhar Iyer as we take a look at the last week in politics. And before we do anything else, let's welcome our guest Shekhar Iyer ji. Namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskar, Shri Iyer ji. Thank you very much. Greetings to all your viewers across the continents.
Shekhar ji, this Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra, I think it is still going to go for another month, I think, and now it is going into Uttar Pradesh. One of the funny sights, sir, is he's trying to pass himself off as a Hindu. Then he has a small, cute kid by his side who is wearing Panchakacham, but he's wearing the Jano the wrong way, like the way you wear when you are doing Shraddh. Sir, if people don't even know this much about Hinduism, why try to flaunt it, sir? And then they make a fool of themselves at the end of the day. Why do you think this guy is trying to do this?
Well, I think somewhere along he has been advised. I mean, we saw it in the course of the Yatra also. You know, that controversial meeting with that father in
George
Tamil Nadu.
Kannaya.
Yeah,
George
that
Kannaya, yeah.
after that, he was advised that, he should also visit temples and whenever occasion. But it did not happen till he reached Madhya Pradesh, where Kamalnath
Hmm.
organized his visit to Ujjain, Mahakal temple at Ujjain. But what is happening is this particular thing you are referring to. That tweet I believe has been deleted by the Congress because it shows a child in that I think somewhere in Haryana or the UP Uttar Pradesh Haryana border. A child which is walking bare chested in that cold weather, and North India is reeling under a cold wave. And as you mentioned, the sacred thread is on the wrong. I mean, I would say that is what we call the Prachina Vidi when you do Tarpan and when you do other rites associated with the dead, with the Pitrus. I mean, these are very fundamental issues, and you remember the last elections, the last parliamentary election, that is 2019. We had pictures of Rahul Gandhi going to temples and holding his hand like this, the way Muslims hold when they say the prayer. I mean, holding his hands like this to receive blessings from heaven, which is more common with the Abrahamic religion rather than with the Sanatan Dharma way. And recently, when he passed through Delhi, when he went to Nizamuddin, the grave of Nizamuddin Aulia, I found him actually doing Namaste. You know, I think probably he is not very familiar or conversant with these practices. And I've seen also when Priyanka Gandhi did some, puja for the Ganga during the UP election, she also seemed to be not quite familiar with the tradition. At least somebody should be advising them to do it the right way. And this particular thing, with that young boy walking in the cold, that has actually outraged many people, not just on the social media, but also some people are concerned. Should should political leaders use children in this campaign? This kind of campaign, which is very political. Of course, a few days ago, when Congress held its foundation day, AK Antony, came out open saying that we should get over this problem of, whenever we talk about Hindus, it should not mean that, or if we are seen doing some rituals, it should not be seen as soft Hindutva. Even that mention itself puts off a lot of people, as if, you should be very wary of anything to do with the Hindus or Hindu traditions or seen in public, this kind of thing. Of course, the other people in the Congress party, including Shekhar Iyer, I don't know if this was in reference to Kerala, where Congress is now is caught in a new situation where the left is wooing the minorities, particularly the Muslims, and who were earlier, the left was seen as being the pro-Hindu party in Kerala. Now I think Pinarayi Vijayan is trying to change the whole thing.
Kerala, they have in Kerala, they have a CM in waiting who is from the minority community, sir.
You mean, who do you have in mind? Who is it waiting at the moment?
His son-in-law. Pinarayi is starting his own dynasty. I don't buy for a moment that CPIM will not allow dynasts to come in. I'm telling you today, I'll bet with you. Let's take a bet, sir. I'm saying that this guy is going to succeed. He has no choice because they consolidated the Muslim vote for CPIM in the recent state assembly election. That's how they won big, which meant, see, there are two khichidis, right? There's one khichidi of Congress around Congress, another khichdi around communists, right? Both these khichidis had their own versions of Muslim parties and Christian parties and blah, 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 blue, blue, blue. What I believe happened in 2019 or 20, last elections, let's put it that way.
21.
21, right? So then these distinctions blurred, and they helped this guy win big. So now that carefully constructed cross voting, I will scratch your back in this constituency, you will scratch my back in that constituency, all that has collapsed. In my opinion, in 2024, you will see Pinarayi come with a thumping majority, not because he has done something great. It is just that he has figured out the arithmetic a little bit faster than the Congress has. My 2 cents, sir.
Now, you could be probably right, but we do not know. But definitely, Pinarayi has been adopting a strategy which is seeing, CPM shifting from its traditional support base of, Eravas and sections of Nair, and of course some sections of the Christian community too, but rather moving more towards the Muslims, because earlier they tried to split the Indian Union Muslim League, IUML. There was one faction, INL, but that INL got disintegrated. Now the attempt is much more, I would say, much more direct, and also supporting a lot of candidates as independents. We saw it happening in 2021. It could be repeated. So a lot of things are happening, sir, which 2023 being, I would say, the run up to 2024. Like for instance, even this particular yatra, we are seeing Rahul's yatra. As I mentioned in our last interaction, it has rejuvenated Rahul Gandhi. Of course, some of your viewers, commented saying that I'm trying to trying to project the Congress or trying to show Congress. I repeat, it's not the party, but the person. Rahul Gandhi feels complete. It's a great success. I mean, and also, sir, something has happened. You see, when it passed through Uttar Pradesh and now it is entering Haryana, uh, initially the RLD leader, Rashtriya Lokdal leader Jayant Chaudhary, and Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav did not want to join. But then later, there has been some kind of a change in strategy, in the sense Akhilesh Yadav wished the yatra well because of the kind of reception or kind of expectation from the minority community in Uttar Pradesh. And secondly, even Jayant Chaudhary has sent a lot of his people, apart from some factions of the Bharatiya Kisan Union. So I think in this rally, I mean, his yatra has managed to collect some crowds in parts of Uttar Pradesh, and now it is moving towards Haryana. And also, sir, this is a season of yatras. You already Nitish has set out on his Samadhan Yatra. And interestingly, today, Tejasvi Yadav has joined that yatra. The deputy CM who wants to displace him and become CM, he has joined that yatra now. And you have RJ leaders constantly saying that Nitish Kumar should now move to the center, and in other words, saying that he should soon hand over the chief minister post to Tejasvi Yadav. This is happening in Bihar. Of course, in Tamil Nadu, we are seeing a very situation where the DMK appears to be in some kind of a frenzy or worried about the growing opposition, particularly to its structure and edifice in Tamil Nadu, and also the rumblings within the DMK. After Udayanithi was made a minister, so you are constantly seeing the governor is the target. The governor is constantly, for instance, he talked about use of the word Tamilagam instead of word Tamil Nadu. So I have seen, the DMK and its people have gone berserk on the governor, saying that, why does the governor want to speak on Tamil? Sir, but these two words have been used constantly, even, I mean, frequently by even the DMK party, even by the Chief Minister Stalin. There is nothing big deal about it. But there is a constant fear that probably the ground somewhere is slipping. And one can see this happening. And also, sir, in this run up to this yatra, I gather, Rahul Gandhi has accepted an invite from the Patali Makkal Kichi to attend their rally sometime in February, where the PMK is back to pressing for its 10% reservation for the community, 1 year community, which could not pass muster the legal scrutiny. Last time the ADMK promised it, and there were difficulties. The court did not allow it. So again, similarly, they are backing up the demand. And this is a season where the caste thing is again. There is a caste census that has just got started in Bihar. And in Karnataka, the move to increase the quota for SC/ST to 24% has seen, the other communities are also, raising their demands. Even the Vakaliga community, as well as the Panchashaili community of Lingayats, they are also. So this is, we are already seeing, caste factor, all these things are now being heated up in the hope that this will benefit the parties which are, trying to particular communities in different states.
Sir, let's take a quick look at why the Tamil Nadu government is so hell bent on, not having R.N. Ravi as its governor. One of the things, of course, is that he is giving them a run for their money. He has been doing everything that they did not want him to do. Perhaps that is to go to temples, talk about, Sanatana Dharma, about the Tamil Nadu being the land of Vedas and so on and so forth. But more importantly, he has not been signing off on many of the bills that have been laws that have been passed in the assembly, because he says that I'm going to take a look at them or something of that nature. He's also been very critical about them not getting that NEET exemption. And viewers, the reason for the NEET exemption is as follows. Many DMK politicians have medical colleges that don't want to accept any NEET students, because NEET students pay a fraction of the fee that they can get if they have instead a capitation fee quota. And there are many people with money floating around who just want a doctor in front of their name. Whether they can practice medicine or not is a different matter. Now, the other challenge that these guys have is they don't want the governor to be appointing vice chancellors. Vice chancellors has become a huge den of corruption, Shekharji. I've been doing some research. I just want, with your permission, for 1 minute, just say why this is a big deal. A VC's post today goes for 30 crores, which means the vice chancellor is going to make at least 100 crores. That is going rate. So the VC himself profits about 70 crores for investing the 30 crores. So what happens is the 30 crores, the VC doesn't invest. A group of people come together, like rich people who stand to benefit, give him the money. He goes and puts that money, gives it to the appointing authority, and then that name gets suggested, and governor usually signs off on it. Now what is happening is that governor is not allowing these things. So why is this happening? Because a few years ago, a Karnataka-based person was appointed as vice chancellor, and you should have seen the uproar that happened. And they have to actually change that appointment. That's how bad it was. And that was also, this was in Bawarilal's Purohit's time. And the reason why the vice chancellor's appointment, the post is so lucrative is fake master's degrees, fake PhD degrees, fake affiliation certificates, fake accreditation certificates. For postings, transfers, appointments, everywhere they are collecting money. And VC is the point of collection. So he can always say, oh, I collected 50 when he might have collected 75. He pockets the 25 himself. So these kinds of things are happening. Now, I'm told, sir, when it comes for affiliations, they have universities, there are companies that will have like 100 computers, okay? Let us say there is an affiliation, a university asking for affiliation, saying we have a very state-of-the-art computer science lab, right? They know when the inspection's going to happen. So the day before that, they stage the whole thing as if there are 100 computers in the computer lab. Okay, and these guys come take a look. Okay, everything checked. They'll give accreditation. Now, these things go next day. They go to another place where these guys are, going to end up in a few days. So there's a company that is making business just by supplying 100 computers along with all the peripherals for rent. That means once that goes away, it's just a shell. Many of these the colleges are a joke. That is how bad education has become in Tamil Nadu. NEET is a very small step to set right this boat, and the government really needs to take the education policy from the states and make it a central only subject, sir, because any Indian graduate should have the same skill set. And I believe that's not true today. Please take it away, sir.
Yeah, you are indeed right. One has to only go through the social media postings about the kind of corruption that's going on in the educational institutions. I mean, some of them are very bold. I must actually say they are very courageous people out there in Tamil Nadu who are posting instances where these things are going on. And also the ruling elite, and the ruling elite family and its network. I mean, today Tamil Nadu is in such a shocking state where there is nothing without a price tag, and that is quite coming out very clear. And I've seen some of them are they many YouTube bloggers have been going ahead and listing out instances as to how these networks are functioning. Sir, governor in particular, being a former intelligence person, has been sent there specific with a specific mission, because there have been some worrying developments in Tamil Nadu, whether it is related to the so-called Tamil nationalists, or Muslim jihadists, also some erstwhile elements who used to support the Tamil Tigers. There is a kind of a thing which has been worrying the center, and governor has been keeping a very close watch. And the fact that when the Coimbatore blast happened, he was very outspoken. But at the same time, he has been doing his bit to convey that he is not an anti-Tamil person. He is not an anti-Tamil Nadu person. I believe he wears the our typical Tamil veshti in all his. Whoever goes to meet him in Rajbhavan, they see him in that. The traditional white dhoti, or veshti as we call it, and in Kerala they call it bundu. And he has been even learning Tamil. I believe the next address to this assembly, he may be talking in Tamil also, because
On
he's
8th, he's going
genuine.
to address in Tamil. Yeah.
Yeah, he is genuinely interested in conveying the message, and particularly this prime minister's initiative to have a Kanchi,
Kashi?
Kashi, the Tamil Nadu Sangamam, Tamil Sangamam, that has actually rattled DMK. See, sir, what has happened is, with the due respects to personalities, great personalities who of Tamil Nadu, whether it is Peraniger Anna, or even the social justice movement, which Periyar even Ramaswamy did. That apart, today what has happened is this, the whole kind of being a Dravida Nadu and the Dravida state. I mean, because obviously DMK had long given up this demand for separate country called Dravida Nadu. They had long given up. Now, with this talk of Tamilagam and Tamil Nadu controversy, there are elements in Tamil Nadu, sir, which we need to be guard against, who are so desperate, and when they see the prospect of Prime Minister Modi again returning in 2024, are out with all their vociferous ideas, how to foment trouble in one form or the other. And unfortunately, the DMK, the ruling elite is sort of a captive, I would say, helpless set before these forces, because these forces have helped the DMK in the past assembly elections. So they are not in a move to tell them, no, this is not it. But sir, today the youth of Tamil Nadu has gone beyond all this. See, that's why whenever there is an argument, sir, I used to hear in Delhi, particularly among the lawyers, a lawyer, when he has points on his side, he argues. Otherwise, he simply thumbs the desks in the court, because that's the way they go about it. So similarly, what we are seeing is a lot of things are being said by some very responsible DMK leaders that do not make a point, trying to say that as if they are waging a war on Sanatan Dharma without even understand what is the concept of Sanatan Dharma. I'm trying to confuse, the whole casteist practices with, the essence of what we believe is Sanatan Dharma. I mean, this kind of things are going on to confuse people. I think people are seeing through it. And for instance, the attack on Annamalai, the way it has been going on, targeting him, and where a section of the media which is believed to be hand in gloves with the ruling elite, and you are seeing it happening because they are rattled by the decision of Annamalai to travel through districts. So this is just the beginning of 2023, sir. And as this year moves on, one is bound to see these regional parties, whether it is DMK in Tamil Nadu or Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress in Bengal or KCR in Telangana. I mean, these people are finding it rather their so-called foundation rather shaky, because I mean, not that they are going to suffer a big hit, or because they are already in power. This is about a parliamentary election, but definitely you can see there is a sense of unease, which is resulting in attempts to either create a strong regional kind of upheaval, or fall back upon the caste calculations. After all, Nitish Kumar sir, his only thing is this caste census, because he feels that is the way again the caste passions can be reignited in Bihar, so that again people will start clamoring for this quota or that quota, so that you can get a situation which is pre-mandal, and that can effectively, they believe, break this Hindu-ness or the Hindutva thing of the BJP. This is the pure strategy, because everybody knows whether you have quota or no quota, governments are no longer in a position to offer permanent employment. I mean, whether it's the state government or the national government. I mean, this is very clear. No government will be able to do it. They can only have enabling policies that generate business and generate jobs. Sir, this is the harsh truth, which they are not willing to. And sir, much more worrying is, which I want to draw your attention of our viewers also. Rahul Gandhi has now taken up that, he with openly declaring that if Congress comes to power, they will scrap Agnivar, this recruitment thing, which is a very serious issue, because this Agnipath, or the scheme, the scheme was conceived after looking at the needs of our defense forces. Today, if you look at the man-machine ratio, we need less men, we need more machines, more technology, and also the fact that your force has to be rather more young when you compare, say, with China. China's army has more young people among its ranks. And the whole idea is, if you are joining it somewhere, say 70, at the age of 17, and when you come out at the age of 21, with the amount like say 23 lakhs on your hand, nobody wants to spend a lifetime in a uniform, because everybody would like to do a short stint and get out. And that's a big money, sir. At the age of 21, I don't think you or I had 23 lakhs or 25 lakhs on hand to do
Absolutely,
anything.
sir. That's a lot of money indeed. I completely agree with you, Shekharji. Viewers, please like this video. It's doing well, but I would like it to do better, because we are actually going to take up some really hefty issues. The BJP is trying a slightly different, more aggressive strategy this time, I see, as far as Karnataka or Tripura is concerned. So I'm going to get to that point next. Amit Shah, Shekharji, has been lighting it up, whether he is in the parliament, or whether he is in Tripura, or whether he is in Karnataka. He has been really blazing a trail here. Is there a slight shift in strategy? Because now Amit Shah has taken JDS head on, Janata Dal Secular, head on. So is he he's feeling that he's sensing blood that JDS is vulnerable, at that complete Bokkaliga group might actually vote for BJP? What are your thoughts, sir?
Sir, I think the attempt is being made, to show that a vote for the JDS will be a waste, because Janata Dal Secular has been its base has been shrinking, but it has a hardcore supporters among the Vokkaliga community, who are still, enamored by the name of the former Prime Minister Hardaralli Doddagowda Devagowda, and that kind of affiliation is still there. Sir, but I want to share a very interesting detail I heard from Karnataka, which is, sir, even as the JDS leader HD Kumaraswamy has been speaking against BJP, but I am told privately is telling leaders to spread the word that a vote for the BJP will help only Siddaramaiah and the Congress. Rather, you vote for JDS and don't vote for the Congress, and that will ensure that JDS and BJP can form a post-poll alliance and prevent Siddaramaiah from becoming a chief minister. Sir, this time in Karnataka, the efforts are to prevent Siddaramaiah returning as chief minister. In fact, the campaign, BJP has also been, doing a very silent campaign in this regard, saying that if you vote for the Congress, Siddaramaiah returns as chief minister, and he is an anti-Hindu politician. That he is going to, in the name of secularism, he will be rather against Hindus. This campaign the BJP has already started doing it here. The other thing, sir, what is happening is, Karnataka is having the fault lines, particularly the social communal fault lines, has increased in the couple of years because of the instances of we saw the how the hijab movement created its own generation, and also this communal violence we are seeing, particularly in Malnad areas as well as in the coastal areas, which has also generated its own kind of political tension. Now, the whole issue is, you have in Baswaraj Bommai a decent politician who is really trying to do something, and at the same time, BJP has people, the leaders, the leaders who are seeing that they are already seeing sunset years, but they do not wish to leave. They are mounting pressure, and their image is nothing to write about. In fact, they are a drag on BJP. But because of caste considerations, because of the community considerations, BJP is not in a position to do a complete overhaul. So there are a lot of things to happen. Now, in this context, sir, everybody knew Ram Temple would be ready by 2024. There was nothing new. Work has been going fast. You have, officials, at least the trust has got people like the former principal secretary to the prime minister who has been supervising the construction activities there. Everybody knew it. But opposition parties, sir, who had opposed Ram Temple, who had parties like the Congress, which had gone to the Supreme Court saying that do not deliver a judgment on Ayodhya, keep it away, put it in cold storage. They are having now, one can see the, some kind of a turbulence, because moment Amit Shah said in Tripura rally that the temple would be ready by January 2024, you saw the kind of reactions from Mallikarjun Kharge saying that who is Amit Shah announcing it? Is he the priest? Is he the high priest of Hinduism to announce it? I mean, this scare, I mean, one can see it. Sir, but there is an interesting twist in this whole narrative, sir. When Rahul Gandhi wrote to, Champak Rai, who is actually a secretary in the Ram Ayodhya Trust, Ram Temple Trust, about this yatra and all that. In fact, the response was very interesting. They said, yes, we welcome what a young man is trying to do. I mean, young man at 50 plus is trying to do. I mean, that kind of, this was rather surprising, at which Congress has taken it as something kind of, as if there is a split in among the pro-Hindu groups, and that the Congress could benefit from that. I think these are too far-fetched, because wishing somebody well on a yatra, I think it was pure, but Congress is already seeing a lot of things in its favor, though many do not share that kind of optimism.
Absolutely, sir. And let's take a quick look at what is happening in Punjab and Aam Aadmi Party. But before we go there, I would like the viewers to also like, share, and subscribe to this channel as soon as you possibly can, if you have not already done so. We are trying to pick up some pace here because we think that the 2024 elections is going to be a very important milestone in India's politics. And that would probably determine the future of India for the next 2 decades. That's how I see it, because you are really converging towards a certain type of administration where people are beginning to expect that if you are in power, then you have to deliver something tangible that they can feel, which is what Modi has done thus far. So we have to wait and see what happens. But what is happening in Punjab, ji? Aam Aadmi Party is having terrible time there.
Indeed, Shreerji, today another minister has been told to put in his papers, because some audio tapes have come where he is discussing how to extort money from some people against whom his ministries have dealings, and his name is Fauja Singh Sarari. He is the second minister after you remember, as soon as Bhagwat Maan was sworn in as chief minister, within a few days you had the health minister Vijay Singla had to be sacked for corruption, because he was also trying to fix quota, trying to extort money. Now this is the second case, and this person was in charge of portfolios including freedom fighter, defense services, welfare, food processing, horticulture, and Punjab being an agriculture state, that's considered a creamy kind of ministry, creamy quote unquote. So I think you are seeing the whole anti-corruption movement of Aam Aadmi Party and trying to provide a clean government in Punjab, a different government in Punjab, already seeing how ministers are going berserk. I mean, this is one instance where they are trying to contain the damage, and you can see what's happening. And yesterday we saw in the municipal council of Delhi, the elections, because Aam Aadmi Party, felt that because of lieutenant governor appointing, eldermen or nominated members, which is part of the rules and acts governing the MCD, and they tried to disrupt the elections, because election of the mayor, because they were not sure, despite having more members, more council members, they were not too sure that their nominee could actually get elected. So you saw disruption as a tool yesterday, and the whole election got put off. So somewhere along, you can see that Aam Aadmi Party is beginning to, uh, finding it difficult rather, and to keep up its image of being a party that was born out of an anti-corruption movement. I mean, this is a big message ahead of 2024.
Yes, indeed. And viewers, will now start taking your questions. We may have time for about 10 questions. So already half an hour into our program. And let's start the questions, please. Ishan Sharma, sir, what's your take on Bihar conducting the caste census today and its second part in April? Will it further divide the society? What will be its impact on the future things of the state and country?
Sir, a caste census is only going to serve to revive caste passions. There is no doubt about it. And politicians know about it, but they want to revive it. Particularly the parties, the so-called secular parties, want to do it for a simple reason. And in Bihar, these caste-based parties are worried by the impact of a pan-Hindu-ness gripping the politics there, which is what the BJP has been trying to do. So this is the whole attempt is, which is the Nitish Kumar, earlier he had done social engineering, created, Mahadalits out of Dalits, and try to somehow consolidate his position. It worked in a sense. He created an additional social base. But now I think he's again falling back to the old tactics of these, the so-called Janata Dal leaders. Whole idea is, to go back to a situation where, the passions are built up, so that you can put BJP in a situation where they can no longer, because speak up for the other section which will be clamoring, at the cost of the general candidates, because so that the BJP is again painted as a party of upper caste. The whole idea is that, rather than try to do anything for this, because sir, any kind of caste census, which I believe, is taking country back. Because moment you get into this, you are going to have, claims, counter claims, one community claiming they are more in number and they are not adequately represented. I mean, in 2022, we are going back to a situation where, it's so difficult, and then you have a Supreme Court cap. Sir, already parties are, increasing the number. Like Chhattisgarh has done it, and Chhattisgarh is now trying to force the governor's, assent for their bill, because they have again increased the quota, which goes beyond that 50% cap. So similarly, other states are also doing this. This is creative, because I think, sir, when they have no other issue to go to the people, they fall back on this caste. Because just as the BJP is accused of, raising issues which are seen as, promoting Hinduness or Hindutva, you find these other parties, though, who claim to be secular, who claim to be, speaking for all communities, all that, or who claim they are running a shop of love in a market of hatred, as Rahul Gandhi said, or Priyanka Gandhi said the other day, matlab mohabbat ki dukan, or in the bazaar of nafrat, this whole thing.
Bad writing, bad speech writing, sir. Bad speech writing.
So, sir, the moment you say dukan, the connotation is it's not a very positive connotation. कोई
Yes,
दुकान
yes,
चलाता है,
yes,
मतलब, we mentioned it earlier also. दुकान
yes.
चलाता है, मतलब, you're out to make some money, or trying to do some commercializing it or monetizing it. Now, sir, therefore, this I would like to tell Ishan Sharma ji that this is not good news for the development of Bihar. And Nitish Kumar has lost all his, dices, and he is falling back upon the old thing. The whole thing of all these leaders who claim to be a socialist background, to fall back on their respective caste communities, so that they can still play the old game. which is very
Next
unfortunate.
question. Yeah, next question from CA Vishwanathan. Do you think Annamalai controversy with reporters was unwarranted and could have been avoided?
Well, sir, I mean, Annamalai is a person in a hurry, and he's a person with passion, and he's out on the field. And he has been confronted with a media where individual media members, forget media institutions or the media outlets, individual media members have been totally under the control of what I believe is upcoming DMK minister, who is very powerful, who has been directly in touch with these people, and they almost seem to be taking instruction to see that Annamalai is hounded. Annamalai always faces a hostile press. The same media people who are seen crawling before Udayanidhi Stalin or even before Stalin, suddenly they try to do all their journalism with Annamalai, trying to ask questions, getting into debate, and getting into some nasty, very offensive behavior. But Annamalai, being he's not an old politician, who can he has been very frank and forthright. That is again being used against him. Perhaps he could avoid all this. I mean, one need not get into a slanging match with reporters, but definitely there are elements in the media, sir, in Tamil Nadu media, who are completely aligned with the ruling coalition, who feel opposing BJP or opposing anybody opposed to DMK as their some kind of a great thing. We have seen this in the national level also. See, sir, in the run up to the situation 2014, if at all anything that helped Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the strong, biased, one-sided approach of large sections of the media, which owed it to the Congress. That is the reason today. And these people are even today, even in 24, I had of 24, they are still in the same mindset. They are not even sparing the Prime Minister's mother, who just passed away, even asking questions, why, what is their contribution, just because she gave birth to Narendra Modi. I mean, people even in such human situations are not able to give up their hatred for Modi. Similarly, we are seeing this hatred is being nurtured in Tamil Nadu by these leaders for their own end. And so there is a money involved, because Annamalai has been saying that the state INPR budget, the media, the DMK government is controlling the media with the help of advertisement. Sir, same thing can be said of Aam Aadmi government in Delhi also.
Yes, yes, very
I
true,
mean,
very true.
a project recently, there was one project which they spent 23 lakhs and they gave ad worth more than 30 crores for projecting this project.
The interesting thing is their ads will appear in regional languages in Kerala. I mean, these people are in power in Delhi. It's just ridiculous. These guys are just trumpeting their own achievements and exaggerating. Next question from Chaitanya Takli. Who provided such a large amount of funding to LTTE?
Well, Chaitanya ji, if you're talking of that period when when the Tamils in Sri Lanka were subjected to Sinhala oppression, and the Sri Lankan government being gay, particularly the diaspora, the Sri Lankan Tamil diaspora contributed a lot for the efforts of the LTT, because they're seen as fighting for the for the justice for Tamil. I mean, this was the perceived then. Of course, that was the time when Indian government too had worries about Jayawardhane's plans as far as allowing foreign bases in Sri Lanka. I mean, that's a different period when Indira Gandhi decided that some kind of an arrangement that we did in Bangladesh, where Mukti Bahini was actively supported by but that's an old story. I mean, after that, what happened in 2009, we all know how LTT was completely liquidated, definitely with a lot of help from India, because they turned out to be terrorist organizations who were using women and children as shield against everyone. I mean, finally, it was a very, I would say, a sad, unfortunate end to a struggle for not just justice, but for dignity for Tamil people in Sri Lanka.
Next question is Mania Phobia wants to know, Shekharji, do you feel BJP is communicating to public what good it keeps doing?
Well, sir, when it comes to communication, we have seen nobody can beat our Prime Minister. I mean, he is good at communicating, and he chooses his timing, and he chooses what he wishes to convey. Sir, what is happening is a lot of projects, lot of schemes, lot of programs are going on. But then, because of the drive of the Prime Minister, and some of these programs are so widespread and so many things are happening. So, in terms of focus and publicity, a lot of it's lost when you have too many things to show. See, and I mean, this is something that is also held against the Prime Minister. That a lot of it is events, the events to showcase one thing or the other. So a focus is lost. But at the same time, sir, when it comes to sincerity, in trying to change things, in trying to bring something new, the Prime Minister has never hesitated. We may agree with him, we may not agree with him, we may have points of dispute with those policies. But when it comes to the passion for bringing about a change, sir, every change is inconvenient, good or bad. And for a politician or for a prime minister of this country to even effect a change, it's a difficult task because the entire system is against it. Because the system has what is called the law of entropy working there, which they do not want to change. So despite that, a lot of initiatives have been undertaken, and one can go on listing it, but definitely, if it's communication is there, but at the same time, some of their leaders, some of their spokesperson, lack that kind of articulation which needs to be sophisticated. Sometimes they are too, I would say, too, either they serve bland or they make it too hot, too spicy. So they need to approach in a manner where the narrative doesn't get hijacked by the narrator.
Well said, well said. Next question from Raghunandan. With all this, why does India need foreign universities? Don't we have universities, and these universities are wokeism epicenter? We call ourselves guru of the world.
Well, sir, I think there is a lot of craze to join the Ivy League universities, and I mean, this craze has been there. So, whole idea is, as part of encouraging, a local talent pool develop, and also the entrepreneurial energy in India, for collaboration, particularly in the education sector. This has been thought of. I mean, it was thought of in the UPA period too. But now a draft proposals have been circulated as to how there can be collaborations, how universities, big famous ones can come here, set up a unit like they have done in Dubai or in Qatar. They can come here also. Some of the well-known American universities or British universities. I mean, the whole idea is to see whether it can be done. Of course, right now we are only seeing draft proposals which are being circulated, and some people are already unhappy that these universities will be allowed to repatriate funds. I mean, whatever business they do here, and this is going to further commercialize education. But I think, sir, when you already have private universities in India, and some of them are doing good job, but some of them are not up to that level of excellence that is needed, in the education sector. A good amount of collaboration, interaction would definitely, bring in a new culture when it comes to running educational institutions and bringing excellence. This is what I feel personally, because without affecting the existing system in any
Now,
way.
let's go back to the previous question. I have a question for Raghunandan. Raghunandan, if you think about this, if your kid can get an IIT-like education because the Ivy League schools are here, perhaps at the same amount of fees, a little bit more, would you not want to have that? There are only a few IITs, and IITs are not, they're technological institutes. Oxford, on the other hand, will give you more social sciences, communications, and other things which are very useful in the current day and age. And for all those things, these universities coming here is actually very good, in my opinion. Also, the actual research that's going to be done inside India will go up because they have well-established programs. When a student goes through and does their projects, the bar is very high for them to cross, and that would raise the boats of everyone. A rising tide will raise all boats. Therefore, our universities also will improve, and this capitation fee ruckus that these guys create, that will go down because everybody will start asking questions. Why are you charging more than Oxford? What is it that you do that is better than Oxford? And that will automatically collapse these prices. So I think that's a good thing. You may not be agreeing with me on this. Next question, please. Amayan Rupal wants to know, should BJP retaliate with demand for religious census and caste among Muslims?
Sir, the government has decided even now not to go in for caste census. I mean, the central government. So obviously, if you were to, that is
This is as
apart.
part of census, right? This is as part
Yeah,
of
yeah.
census.
As
Yeah.
part of census, I mean, they have decided that the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes would, of course, be enumerated, but not other communities. Yeah, of course, there is pressure from all these parties, the so-called socialist parties, who are insisting that there should be a caste enumeration. But this government, particularly the Modi government, has not decided in favor. And also, there is a feeling, as we just discussed, that there is no point in rekindling that kind of casteist you know affiliation and casteist energy, because once it starts, there is no end to it. And what if figures show that the Brahmins are not such a small number as we believe? What if it shows the other communities, the communities, say whether it is Rajputs or Bania communities, more than what we know, and the generalist or the so-called people now covered under non-reserved quota, their number is more than what is thought of. I mean, these are going to lead to situations where will definitely affect the current system of affirmative action. There is no doubt about it. Already you are seeing so much resistance to economic reservation for economically weaker section. Supreme Court decision on that was criticized, saying that how can you have this? I mean, whereas many people have felt that at least affirmative action should also cover people from those who are not covered under the caste system, those who are not covered under the socially oppressed sections, affirmative action for socially oppressed sections. How are they to be benefited? So somewhere along this economic criteria has to be there. So therefore, I think there is very little scope for but BJP on a political level has been working on trying to working its base among the Pasmanda Muslims from the lower caste. People, though like Christianity, Islam does not believe in class or caste. But we have seen in India that there are two classes. Even Christianity, we know that some Christian communities in Kerala, they think they are they are on a higher pedestal compared to other communities. Similarly, in Islam, particularly in India, we have what is called the Pasmanda Muslims, who belong to the very the lower social strata, who have not got the benefit of economic uh, facilities and things like that. So that's going on at a political level. But I do not see a scope for this government agreeing for a caste-based census, either among religious minorities or among the other communities.
Bharani Chandar wants to know, what does the chance of Modi look like in 2024? Is it easy or hard or doable?
Well, sir, it is doable. I would say it is doable, but a lot of things would have to be sorted out, and the BJP would have to work harder. And I mean, some of its programs and policies will have to show more results on the ground, and that's going to be a tough task. And they need to win each of these, challenges in the states, starting from Karnataka and Tripura and the northeastern states in the first half of 2023, followed by the bigger ones, the bigger elections in, say, Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, and of course, again, there are few states in the northeast. So this year going to be at least there will be 9 to 10 assembly elections, which are going to be very crucial, which will set the mood for the Lok Sabha elections of 2024.
Next question, please. Magnet Ranga wants to know, before Annamalai, TN BJP had no leadership. Annamalai has made a huge difference. Why is it difficult to replicate such an exercise in Kerala?
That's a good question, Rangaji. Kerala, the problem, we all know about it, which is the demographic structure is such, where Hindus do not make a majority of the population of Kerala. That's a, it may appear I'm putting it in a very crude way, but the fundamental thing there is the Christians and Hindus, I mean, Muslims together are more than the Hindus. And the other thing is that Hindu community is also divided. You have Nayars on one side, Eravas on one other side. Then you have few sections of Dalits. So the structure is such, and also, sir, there is other problem. Kerala politics is such, is always faction driven. Whichever party, whether it is Congress or Marxist, and the BJP is no exception. BJP has had its own quota of factional politics in Kerala, though they are trying to sort it out. But the whole problem in Kerala is this: one is the demographic, the one can even say demographic dividend for political parties is such the BJP does not benefit, in the way it could in a different situation. And the other thing is this factionalism, and so what has happened is inability to nurture new talents. Of course, it's a process. It's going to take a time, and who knows this election, sir, if in the next assembly elections we have to throw up a situation where the Congress stands decimated, and if CPM is seen as, it's a more a party for the minority than a Hindu party, as it was hitherto known, I think that should open a situation where the BJP could rise.
Good way to look at it, sir. Next question from Gaurav Chaudhary. Viewers, please don't send us any more questions. I'm not even sure we can address till the last one that came thus far. So please stop sending questions. We are out of time. We need to start, wind it up in 5 minutes. Gaurav Chaudhary wants to know, Karnataka is going to hung assembly again and BJP will be the single largest party. Any chance to Kumaraswamy again? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think at the moment, at the way things stand now, many people are, forecasting a situation like a hung assembly, where the BJP emerges, say, the single largest party, few seats ahead of the Congress, and the kingmaker role could be performed by, say, a party like Janata Dal Secular. In such a situation, the JDS may not be in a mood to oblige the Congress, because that would mean making Siddharamaiah the chief minister, which as we discussed. So there is a possibility in the post-election scenario that JDS and BJP could come together again to prevent Congress from, forming the government.
Viewers, there's an important data that I need to tell you. Siddharamaiah was an ex-JDS person, and he saw that Devagowda was promoting his son, which is why he defected to Congress. So JDS will never allow Siddharamaiah to become the chief minister. Just my 2 cents. Next question, please. Venkatraman wants to know, do you see farm laws coming back? If so, when?
Sir, the way the farm laws were jettisoned, because of the agitation on the streets by those vested interests, and some of those interests included, I would not mincing words in saying, some Khalistan type forces were also interested, and the whole system of, the middlemen, who also played a big role in fueling this agitation. But a lot of misconceptions were spread. Sir, if finally, if the farmers have to get a new deal, we will have to go back to a situation where those laws which were passed in Parliament and finally jettisoned, we need to take a look at that, bring in, say, more changes, and that's the way forward. That's the way you can bring more capital into agriculture, which is a must needed. Otherwise, I can't see simply increasing, minimum support price or government going on procuring. I mean, those are kind of dead end kind of solutions which have not worked before, and they are not going to work now also. Ultimately, probably after 2024, when this parliament election has been won, it is possible. And Prime Minister Modi is not a person who gives up, whatever he has said to do. I can see maybe in the post 24, the government revisits those bills. There are further dialogue with the farmers. Some fine tuning is done, and ultimately you have a situation that actually benefits farmers, and they grow crops that have demand. They grow produce which can be marketed abroad. I mean, these are the things way forward, not just falling back on those old things, because, sir, most of the critics of these farm bills, I mean, they have been going on saying, no, does not reflect the reality of farmers. People who are suggesting do not know what is wrong with our rural economy. But none of them have offered a solution. Sir, in all the debate I followed, I didn't see anybody coming with a good solution. Neither Yogendra Yadav or, the people of his ilk. I mean, even there are other good agricultural economists. All of them were, who are opposed to the farm bills. I mean, just going on criticizing what's wrong with it. But what is the solution? I think we'll have to wait for this, for political parties to get over this Lok Sabha elections of 2024 before they can honestly examine the problems of our farmers and what kind of solutions are possible.
Next question, please. Rajdeep Roy wants to know, Sir, I am from West Bengal. Can you please describe what's going on in WB politics? Is there any hidden understanding between BJP and TMC, and why corruption investigation is not getting any momentum?
Well, sir, I mean, that impression has been prevalent. But, such attempts, even for a patch up, suddenly got derailed because you saw the supporters of Surendra Adhikari, one single Jai Shri Ram, has completely, things have gone haywire there. Because Mamata lost her cool. Then you saw the Vande Bharat trains being stoned, not once, but twice. I mean, things are again getting to back. So that for the simple reason, you cannot have any deal, before the Lok Sabha election. Secondly, this year is the Panchayat elections. Panchayat elections will be probably held in February in West Bengal, and that's a make or mar kind of thing for all political parties. In fact, Congress and the left have come together for the Panchayat elections, and Mamata also wants to ensure that Trinamool does not lose its big command and big control over these panchayat bodies. Though she has to be very careful this time. If there is going to be a repeat of violence of what we saw in the previous panchayat elections, I think that is not going to be tolerated easily by the center or by the BJP. So therefore, I think one is going to see very, very interesting times in Bengal.
NN Solanki wants to know, what is Prashant Kishore's game? Is he going to launch his own political party?
Solanki ji, actually, Prashant Kishore has been undertaking his own yatra there, particularly in Champaran, and where he wants to, start his own political party. But more than that, he has turned out to be a bitter critic of Nitish Kumar. And in fact, he has even criticized his Nitish Kumar's yatra, saying, "What is this Samadhan yatra? Kya Samadhan kar sakte hai?" I mean, he is total bitter critic of him. I don't know what went so seriously wrong between these two leaders. I mean, I would call Prashant Kishore as a leader because now he has completely, got into full-time politics. So, but I can't see how Prashant Kishore, I think he is a Bhumiyar, an upper caste leader can do in Bihar politics. But definitely, he has some plans. One has to see how he goes about, whether he forms a party or aligns with some other party or joins some established party.
Thank you very much, Shekhar ji. I'm sorry, viewers, we could not answer all your questions. A couple of them got missed. We'll make it up next time. Thanks once again, Shekhar ji. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.